One of the biggest comparisons that comes up is looking at infinite banking versus buy term and invest the rest. It's important to realize though, with whole life insurance, you can absolutely invest. Typically though, what you're doing when you're using infinite banking is you're using your cash value to take advantage of those opportunities and those investments as they come along. So the real comparison here is, where does your capital reside while you're waiting for that next opportunity? One thing I want to touch on, it's really important. I am not against term insurance, specifically convertible term insurance. It's a great way to make sure that your family is looked after in case something happens to you. And then when and if you have the means, you can convert some or all of that over to whole life insurance. But let's look at what's really going on here. When you use buy term and invest the rest, your capital is typically going to some kind of savings account, maybe a brokerage account, it could be a conventional savings account, you name it. The point though is it's going to reside somewhere. Then you're going to go ahead, take the capital out of that savings or brokerage account, wherever it is, and then move it on to the investment. The thing is though, your capital is just doing one job and it's not growing for you. When you have a whole life insurance policy that's structured properly, you can leave the cash value in there, use that as the collateral so you can take a loan. And now your capital is actually working in two places. You have it working inside of your policy and whatever investment you have. The other thing I want to point out is, a lot of times people assume that if you have a buy term and invest the rest scenario, that you have access to more capital to invest. Ironically, over the long term, because you constantly have that capital, that cash value building inside of the policy with true uninterrupted compound growth, there is a potential, a very good potential, in fact, that you could have more cash value to invest with and take advantage of those opportunities, especially with that long-term mindset. All right, moving on to storage. One of the things that happens here is your capital has to reside somewhere while you're waiting to take advantage of those opportunities. When you have one of these whole life policies and the cash value inside of it, it's protected. And it's protected from a couple of things. Number one, you have market volatility. So if you're using a brokerage account, there's a chance that when you go to get that capital and use it, it could actually be in a down market. So that could hurt you. The other thing is credit protection. Depending on the state that you're in, you can have significant credit protection for your cash value inside one of these policies. Basically, it just gives you confidence that when you have an opportunity and it rises, you know that that capital is going to be there. Lastly, we have access. This is a very big thing. So it's great to have capital, but can you actually get to it? With buy term and invest the difference, depending on where you're actually storing that capital, you may not be able to get to it, you may have to liquidate it, or you may be relying on a bank to actually approve you to use that as collateral to go do whatever it is you're going to do. When you have cash value inside one of these whole life policies that's designed properly, you're going to have a situation where you have contractual access to that capital. Nobody's going to stop you from using that capital to do whatever it is you want to do. So to sum this all up, when somebody asks me about infinite banking versus buy term and invest the difference, it's not so much whole life insurance versus term insurance. It's more discussion on where's your capital residing so that when you need it, you can access it. Is it protected? And is it constantly growing for you? Is your capital able to work in more places than one? All right, if you found this valuable, please like. If you want more information like this, go ahead and subscribe. If you're ready to take the next step and see what infinite banking is all about, go to my Start Here page. In my next video, I'll be covering a big question that comes up with infinite banking. Is it an investment? All right, I'll see you there.